Hello, everyone, and welcome back to God of... Wow, these blades are really cool here. So we got the heart, we have to make our way back, and we tease something for Zeus and all that other stuff, so...
Yeah.
Oh, how'd you get here?
Ain't supposed to be here.
Well, neither am I, so what's your excuse?
Real quick, give me your blades.
Why?
Yeah, I said I'd help you, and I aim to.
Yeah, this is where you get your first upgrade for them if you're doing a new game.
Equipment's in Midgard. Be right back.
Whoop.
Yeah. You don't suppose he'd nick those, do you?
There. Now they're ready for the winds of hell.
Yay, so now we have a little puzzle
Blades
element
in
with
your
them.
blades and throw. Now target that wind trap with your blade. Now you can absorb and release the winds of hell whenever it damns you. So you're welcome, and I believe it. This place is cold enough to freeze a pair of pigeon eggs.
I sometimes wonder if there was once some sort of accident in his brain.
We have been away too long.
Pigeon the name he gave us testicles?
So yeah, we have some puzzle-y element with them now, so... It's something.
Absorbing energy from one source and
bringing it to another,
bringing
yeah.
it to another,
And a time limit.
Yeah. It's a little awkward.
Can you use the winds as like a damage bonus or anything?
No, sadly.
Oh, that would be cool if they did that, but I guess that makes sense.
Yep.
I like the version of hell that's just frigid ice cold, though. Because, you know, usually we associate hell with fire and brimstone. But, like,
I have to wonder if like the whole like the classic term like when hell freezes over is in reference to the Norse mythology.
maybe.
I think it's more of a that'll never happen sort of thing. Because we associate it with
Well, it
all,
happened here.
you know, fire and brimstone and blah, 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 so...
Ah. I mean, nowadays there's enough awareness of the different like versions of hell that even when a story is specifically talking about the Judeo-Christian hell, they'll sometimes bring ice and snow into it. Like I'm pretty sure that happens in Castlevania, the show, but
Yeah, because nowadays when something is referencing hell in some form or fashion, it is more chaotic and psychological than it is like funny devil man dancing with a pitchfork. Something more akin to Silent Hill, basically,
yeah.
rather than what you would see. In
I think the reason for that though is that we've become desensitized to more elemental and elementary versions of horror. Like nobody nowadays really takes the concept of Frankenstein or Jekyll and Hyde or Dracula all that seriously in a vacuum. If you're going to try and adapt those early versions of horror to modern audiences.
What kind of vacuum? Dyson, Dirt Devil.
No, you feel you're hitting the wrong one.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you're gonna try to adapt those older horror stories to new audiences, you kind of need to add wilder elements to it to make it stick out. Otherwise, it just seems like a Halloween costume design, you know. And I think,
Well, I mean, isn't that just the cycle of content creation, though? It's like every 15, 20 years, you're just retelling an old story, but you're modernizing it to the current age.
I mean, kind of, but like some things are timeless, and unfortunately, a lot of the horror stuff was not timeless in that sense because people just got desensitized to it. Like,
I mean, to be fair to it, though, I can't speak personally because there was just never any interest in it, but like modern day horror films today that like use like stuff that we use all the time and we take for granted, like I remember there was like one or two horror movies that are centered around like Zoom calls or Skype or something like that. I forget the name of it. But I heard those are okay. It's like I just it's kind of easy to dismiss them because folks of our age don't really find the idea of that scary inherently, and we just kind of like pass them off as just like every other film.
Well, I mean, like, I'm just talking about like old horror concepts, like the classics, not really being all that scary on their own to people these days. Like, and I guess what I was trying to work around to is that the old school concept of what hell looks like to people doesn't really like register as scary anymore. Like, we used to see like horned devil people, and that would actually really get to people. It would bother them. Nowadays, it's kind of just like a cartoon concept.
Now it's a boss in Doom.
Yeah, now it's a boss in Doom. It makes us think of like catchy old DOS music and stuff. Sound Blaster, blasting renditions of heavy metal tracks at you, and then you blow it away with a shotgun. But like,
That's pretty interesting though. Like, I mean, to go into that though, like, is there still like a classical or otherwise an element that still gets under your skin in terms of like a horror trope?
well, that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make, is that the tropes themselves don't really work on their own anymore. You kind of have to spice them up in some fashion before they will. Like, we live in a post-Twilight world, so vampires by themselves are kind of a punchline. Like, you
They see vampires are always a punchline to me after I saw Vampire in Brooklyn.
well, yeah. I mean,
See, people were telling Twilight, I was like, did you not watch Vampire
I
in
mean,
Brooklyn?
they were already on their way down before Twilight happened, but Twilight was the nail in the coffin, you know.
Coffin.
So you need like a particularly good vampire story to make vampires scary again, because vampires in general aren't a super scary concept to most people anymore.
I'm dangling from the hip of the bloody ghost of Sparta.
So
Do not call me that.
Oh, don't mistake me, brother. From what I heard, the
Fine, I'm dangling from the hips of the chains of Olympus.
Jim, I knew you hate gods,
Better?
but you really can't stay away from them, can you?
Not by choice, head.
To the boy, you must never know.
Bollocks, brother. Respectfully, bollocks. He has to know.
I was gonna say that's bullshit.
Respectfully, bullshit.
It's like you gotta tell them.
Gods, all gods. It's no accident that includes yourself, and it includes your boy. You see that? He feels that.
Kamamir becomes a therapist of the game as it keeps going.
You haven't even
Well, he is a smart guy, so
It's all connected, man.
You will tell him nothing.
Very well.
to be fair, maybe you're not the one who should be telling him anyway. So
yeah.
Hey, so you know that shortcut between realms? Well, I made it better.
how?
Or I might have broke it.
We use that.
I know you do. So I took a few gusts from them winds of hell and made it so it ain't just one way.
So we get actual
Now you
fast
can
travel
use it
now.
to travel to and from. If I didn't break it.
Then we can take it to Freya.
There's an idea, brother.
Basically, so we don't have to take the boat if we don't want to.
Kinks to sort out, but you'll make it.
Yay.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, imagine having to take the boat every single time and getting trolled by the ghost of Athena.
The downside to this plan is that we kind of left our boat behind, didn't we?
Yeah, a bit.
You're gonna get your
Dude, where's my boat?
you're gonna get your ass back through that door and bring my boat home, Kratos. Now. It's like borrowing someone's car to go to the bowling alley and then teleporting back and forgetting the car.
The Ubering back.
And Ubering back, yeah. I mean, to be fair, people do occasionally do things like that because they're too drunk to drive, so they have to go back and get the car later. But
This is the game loading.
I think Japan actually has a specific taxi service that's like dedicated entirely to drunk people going home from the bar.
We must hurry.
Stuber. It's a nice little play on words. I've done that though before. Like I've traveled with someone to a party, knowing we were gonna drink, and the driver was insistent on just staying the night there. But I Ubered back because like, no, if I'm gonna be drunk and I'm gonna be hungover, I'm gonna be in my house. Like I don't want to be in anybody's house.
Yeah.
He is still ill.
I can break the fever, but to heal,
He must know the truth of what he is.
yes.
Blah, 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 blah. Feelings are more important than medicine, I guess.
Help me prop him up. Did I tell you that I have a son too?
I mean, we heard from Amir, so.
Forever since I last saw him.
I'm not the one to just say like to discredit like science and all that sort of shit, but I do believe
My arms was so.
I am a firm believer that being more positive of a situation is also essential in the process of healing.
I knew right then I would do.
Like to just look at it from a cold, sterile, no, the medicine is the only thing that really matters here is kind of. I never agreed with that.
Of course, everything I did for myself. I let my needs.
I actually like got so distracted between what you were saying and what Freya was saying that I don't think I caught either side of the conversation.
No, it's fine. It's cool.
Like I heard half of.
I'm just saying, yeah, obviously it's the medicine that's gonna cure you and everything, but I also think like a positive attitude about the whole thing helps.
Oh yeah, that's actually like not entirely unscientific either, because you know, your mindset affects your body through stress or relaxation, and that does have an impact on recovering from illness.
Yeah, obviously, like you don't get doped up in morphine and then go on Twitter immediately after. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
I mean, it's like people tell you to stay in bed and rest when you're sick or injured, because obviously physical rest helps, but also staying relaxed and calm also helps. So,
And he's fine in no time.
I'm better now.
The hell you're not.
Is he well enough to travel?
For now.
They won't
yeah,
find
I like the unspoken message there. For now, as in you really, really need to tell him.
this an arm shake?
Yeah. That's one of those weird.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's one of those weird things where it's like, I know they're doing that because of the audience,
I will not forget.
but it's like they didn't do that way back then. But okay,
I wasn't there. I wouldn't know.
Well, there is.
Stay, recover.
You have done enough.
I mean the
You know my
the thing behind the handshake was basically a show of mutual trust that you weren't hiding anything up your sleeve that you would attack them with.
Yeah.
went on, isn't it?
You figured that out, did you?
Well, the window looks like Bifrost.
Oh, boy, so we have to wait for Atreus to go around the room doing things, huh?
Makes you sad.
A little bit.
You are wise for one so young. Yes, this is a window to a home I left long ago. But it is
Also, it's a glorified TV screen.
It's a TV. Yeah, it's a screensaver.
It is a screensaver. It's like an animated Windows wallpaper of some
Odin's happy in mid-
Can you turn it to the little
of
pipes?
some majestic
Little pipes that
waterfall
keep
that
rolling
you'll
over the
never
place.
visit and have never seen in your life.
Maybe she has like one of the 3D text screensaver though that bounces on the screen. Like, what would it say?
Couldn't afford to buy the screensaver about the Amazon rainforest, so she just has a 3D text screensaver that says Amazon
It's a fucking
rainforest.
3D brick maze from Windows 95.
Oh no!
Someone make a mod of that too, please.
So I was wondering, why do you live under a turtle?
It's kind of funny that like
My first
I do?
year in Midgard, he offered me shelter, and in return, I provide him with protection against the evils of the forest.
okay, so like
Wolves and boar,
it kind of amuses me that Windows still supports those old screensavers, even though like none of the monitors people actually use with their PCs anymore actually need screensavers. Eh,
Now then, before
I don't know,
Modi
just
so
funny.
rudely interrupted us, we were just about to explore Tyr's vault.
Yes, to find the Black Rune. Boy, do you know the way from here?
Oh, I don't know.
Sure you do, lad. We need a boat.
I don't know.
Or we can use the, or we can take the,
Okay then.
or we can just take the fast travel. We do have that now. But this is the game forcing you to get on the boat so they can have, father-son talk.
Ah, yeah. I think like Atreus being down. I think he might have heard the conversation with Freya. Is my guess. It seems like he's pretending he didn't, though.
A little bit, yeah.
I don't remember if it was that or it was because he felt he let his father down in a moment of weakness.
Also possible. But now we have to take the elevator down instead of just walking down, I guess.
If a heart-to-heart on the
I
elevator
do
ride.
like that this game does lean into the exploration factor a lot more as you go through. Like, I feel like such a long game would get repetitive if it was just going from fight to fight. And in fact, like, even Devil May Cry 5, for as amazing
Bing.
as it is, yes, add that time you can add.
Are we still doing
You
that?
can add to the counter.
I just feel like it because he brought it up, so.
Oh, okay.
But my point is, even Devil May Cry 5, for as good as it is, started to feel like it was losing momentum by the end because of how little they did in terms of explorative level design. And, I guess that's just good to know that that's one problem God of War doesn't have.
I guess.
I know you overheard my talk with Freya. You think you understand, but you do not. Why do you say nothing?
Probably because he doesn't know how to respond to you, dude.
You said I was cursed. You think I'm weak because I'm not like you. I
Far
know
from
that's
it.
what you wanted. But after all this, I thought maybe things were different.
Time to have a heart-to-heart after I gave him the heart.
Everything, boy.
No,
Ah, boy.
but at least I know the truth now.
That's my name.
The truth. I'm a god, boy. And
He
we
just
don't
comes out and
live
says it.
far from here. When I came to these shores, I chose to live as a man.
They
But the truth
intentionally
is,
keep Atreus off
I was
camera
born a
here.
god, and so were you.
So you didn't get to see his immediate reaction to that.
Boy,
A little bit, yeah.
have you nothing to say?
Well, he's probably parsing it, dude.
Like, you didn't get to see the look on his face the moment the words came out. And that's kind of...
Turn into an animal?
If you pause it and put it on
I like
photo
that-
mode.
I like how the first thing he asks is, can he turn into an animal?
No, I do not think so.
And like the moment... And like that question seems to have relaxed Kratos a bit.
Mother knew? She was a god too?
No, she was mortal, but she knew my true nature.
I'm a god.
And like...
Unfortunately, this leads to
Worst
the
part of the game.
part of the game I don't like about
Yeah,
Atreus.
even the creators were like, yeah, we kind of had to rush this in order to actually, you know, make sure the game was not like a bajillion hours long.
It can be a lifetime of anguish and tragedy. That is
Like-
the curse.
I don't disagree with what it does to Atreus, like at least for a little bit. Now, it's not a permanent thing, it's like, but you know, it gets to his head.
Yeah.
He gets big
Well,
headed.
he's a kid, so you know.
Yeah, that's why I don't mind it too much, because you know I think it's only logical for a kid his age to get that big headed with the idea that, oh my god, I'm actually part god, or a god, not even really part god, but a god.
We'll learn.
But it's like, fuck, man, this kid's with me, so I gotta put up with that a lot.
I can't turn into a wolf.
Surprise me.
I like.
Voices sometimes. Are you sure you've never heard any?
Not as you do.
That's no surprise. Every god is unique.
So maybe I won't get strong like father.
So I can see this going in an annoying direction, but right now it's actually kind of nice how, like, after all the grim sort of inner turmoil, they just sort of kick back and have a silly conversation about god powers.
But I've known more than my share of gods.
Me too, apparently.
I like how Mimir remained quiet throughout the entire talk, but then immediately jumped in as soon as the conversation was past the point where he wasn't supposed to say anything.
Does he know? Is that why he's after us? Do you know him from before?
The day of your mother's funeral was the first I ever saw Balder.
Yeah, he hasn't told them everything, but
Really?
you know, he's getting there.
I mean, we're gods.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want, right?
Okay,
You
wrong
really
thing to
feel
say.
like doing right now.
Yeah.
I will show you.
It probably wasn't.
Go straight to the Home Depot.